Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday.
So today we are missing one of ours today. Tony is not here. So the ladies are holding it down. We're
Yeah.
gonna try to do the best that we can without our Tony. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm Erica and I have my business partner and co-host Tasha.
Hello, everybody.
And we have our guest host today, Mr. Randall Piner.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so a few announcements. Of course, what's happening in the D. So a couple of things for DKC we got coming up. We have our annual white party coming up on Saturday, July 1st. It will be at the Ford Patio Grill. That is 18490 Ford Road. It starts at 6 o'clock. So tickets are $20. Of course, you can purchase those tickets on our website or you can hit up any member of DKC. We also have a new event coming up that we're trying. It will be annual, hopefully. Our
Mm-hmm.
summer block party is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be at Black Bottom Park. We are actually looking for vendors. Okay, it's Saturday, August 12th. 2023, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. The vendor fee is $50, but you must have your own setup. We will not have any tables or chairs available. So you must have your own setup. Food trucks, $200. It is first come, first serve. So there's no assigned area. So if you are
Mhm.
interested, you better get on top of it right away. Of course, as always, you can register on our website, www.detroitkeyclub.com. It is located, Black Bottom Park is located at East Grand Boulevard and Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about the Jamaica trip that's coming up. You still have time to get in on that if possible. No more deposits. If you want to go, you just got to pay it, but you can still go. It is August
Yep.
24th through the 28th, so you can get more information about that on our website as well. So again, though, there's no deposits. I want to make that clear. You got to pay for it if you want to go.
Mm-hmm. Space is still available.
And don't forget, we got that Hawaii trip next year coming up, Valentine's week, February 11th through the 16th. Um, you can pay your deposit now if you sure you would like to go. Give yourself plenty of time to make those payments. But I know that's going to be a wonderful, awesome, awesome trip.
Mm-hmm. You want to go to Jamaica?
Not right now. I've got enough trips on my agenda to keep me busy. So no Jamaica this year.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, we got spots open.
I hear it, and no deposit. That was made clear.
Yeah,
I got
no
it.
deposit.
I got it.
deposit.
Right now, it's full payment at time of booking.
Okay.
Exactly.
I
No
won't even.
deposit.
I won't even ask the amount because I'm not going.
Wow.
No deposits.
Wow.
All right.
Not
So,
going.
anything happening in the D? Anybody try anything new this week?
Let's see. Anthony and I went to Hot Pot a couple of weekends ago.
Explain hot pot to me because
Man,
I'm trying to understand. You cook it in a pot, or how does it work, or
you
what you do in there?
you order all the meats and the vegetables and you cook it there at the table in the hot pot. I had it all wrong.
So, is the
It was a
pot in the middle
disaster.
of the table? Like,
No, you get your own pot. Each person has their own pot.
uh-huh.
And like for instance, you get shrimp or little thin cuts of beef or what have you, and you're supposed to get all your sauces and stuff. And as you cook it, you're dipping and eating, cooking, dipping and eating. I put all my shit in the pot at one time.
Okay. And I'm a little
Epic
slow.
fail. Epic fail.
I want to make sure I understand this. Y'all paid these people good money
But
To
you
go
in
in
there,
there and cook,
y'all.
and cook
cook
our
your
own
own
shit
food.
that wasn't good.
So
Anthony was
you
like,
cook it one
no.
piece at a time.
No, you could cook more than one piece at a time. However, I put the shrimp, the meat, a couple of vegetables in the pot, and
You was
shit,
making
it started
gumbo.
right. I started boiling over. The waitress is like, "No, too much, too much."
They didn't give y'all like a tutorial, like
Hell
a
no.
little video to watch before
Nope,
you
they
start?
should have.
That waitress couldn't wait for you to get out
They
of there.
probably
She
was sitting
like,
in the
"This
standing
lady
in the
over
corner
here."
laughing at us and shit.
You probably should call them. Let them put a QR code on the table that shows you a video
Right,
that
give
you
you a
should, what
video.
you should be doing.
Man, epic fail.
I don't know.
So
if
I got the
wouldn't like
idea
that.
from Patrick because Patrick, he always be going somewhere. Man, y'all should try to go there. So we went, and yeah, horrible. I'm sure it was a good experience for others, but my first time, I did not have it together.
I don't know.
I told him he got to take me when he comes home and show me how it's done. I said, because I don't think we did it right, son. Anthony was like, "This smelled like an old dish towel." I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that was, yeah.
You sound like the people that were dangerous at Mongolian, where they had to put their own little bowl together and season it, and they cook it,
Man,
and it's still terrible.
Right. Now I know I got that down pat. I can go to Mongolian and hook up some stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, it took a minute. My first time in Mongolia, I never forget it. I didn't know what to do. It was too spicy. I couldn't eat it. I was like, this is just an epic fail because I made it too hot. I didn't understand.
Right, how to balance.
Yeah,
like you cooking it, you putting it all together. You just got somebody else cooking it for you.
So I got it together now.
Okay.
I got the mastery of how to get the most out of your bowl too.
Oh, okay.
See, I put the meat on top because it pushed down the vegetables.
Yeah. That was a tip for everybody.
You put your eggs, if you want to, you stick them on the side. And then you get a big bowl for your seasoning, not them little bitty bowls, and put a little bit on the meat in the bowl. Got it together.
Okay. All right.
So I tried. So I'm into TikTok. I am. Yeah, old as I am, I'm into TikTok. So
you be in line doing all this. Like I tell the kids, be
no,
still.
I don't do all of that. But I'm into the whole restaurant review thing. So I look at the restaurant reviews. I said, okay. So I saw one for a food truck. It is, I think it's called Big Bites. It's on 8 Mile and Gratiot. They have a nice little series of food trucks that sit there. I never paid attention to it until now.
You're not on the east side as often as I am, so you're probably there.
But when I go home sometimes
from work,
and then when I go that way every day.
You don't notice the trucks? Yeah, they're always there.
I've never paid attention to those trucks being there. And I go through 8 Mile and Gratiot every single day. So anywho, I decided to try it. So that it is a birria taco food truck. So they have the birria steak, they have the fish tacos, shrimp, jerk chicken, quesadillas, the Mexican street corn, fried Oreo. So I had the birria steak, I had a Old Bay shrimp, I had a jerk chicken, and I had the street corn. Jerk chicken, amazing. It was fire. The jerk chicken taco was fire. The shrimp taco was good. Steak, yeah, it could have used a little something. And the Mexican street corn was good. So all in all, I would give it a 4.7 out of 5. It was pretty good.
Okay, I'm glad you just say out of 10.
I was waiting on that second number. It was a pause. I was nervous. How bad
it was good. So it was a couple of other food trucks up there. So I said, okay, I guess I'll go try those, but had no idea. Never paid attention. It's like 3 or 4 food trucks that sit there.
Yeah, all the time.
Never paid attention to
most days they're there, especially on the weekend. I know it's always at least 2 or 3 there.
So, I saw on Facebook too, y'all. Darius Cooks was in Detroit this weekend. It looks like he was at Petty Cash yesterday. So he didn't really give much information. I don't know if you're a Darius Cook fan. I watch his reviews often, so I can kind of tell sometimes from his facial expression if he's liking it or not. And just from his facial expression and the little bit that I did see of his live, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what kind of review he's gonna give. I'm gonna keep my 2 cents to myself. I've already been to Petty Cash and I've had my my experience there. So he said we gotta wait till the review comes out. But
you've been to Petty Cash?
I have not. I've been past it quite a few times. But I'm a little confused because you're saying that you are doing food reviews and you've been there, and you're gonna keep your 2 cents to yourself.
No, I'm gonna keep my 2 cents to myself. He said that we have to wait until his full review comes
Oh,
out
just on
because
his.
people was
Okay.
asking him, would you know, he said, nope, y'all gotta wait because he does edited,
Okay, yeah,
video.
of course.
And he's like,
Mhm.
y'all gotta wait or whatever. I said, okay. I'm just curious to see if he has
Mm.
some of the same.
So
Right.
you did a review for TikTok for Petty Cash?
I didn't do it on TikTok. I talk about my stuff on the show. And
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it was the best because I guess the day I went, they didn't go to the grocery store.
Oh.
So,
So they were out of a whole lot of
so they was
everything.
out of everything, and
Ah.
I had my
The
mouth
truck
set.
hadn't come in. It was
Yeah,
the truck. They don't.
whatever.
The truck hadn't come
Man,
in yet.
Petty Cash is the Mike's
On
Market is right
Tuesday.
there. It's a
The
block
truck
away.
come in on
If
Tuesday.
somebody don't want
like at
their ass
Target.
down there and get some chicken,
Well,
it's a black restaurant. You don't run out of chicken.
well,
So
that's just like Chipotle.
I did not get. I was already disappointed because I
Gotcha.
had my mouth set on something, and then it's like, oh, we don't have that. And then I think I picked something. Oh, we don't have that either. Oh, y'all just didn't
yeah.
go to the store at all. Huh?
The truck didn't come in.
So I had to get something that I necessarily didn't want, but I had to because that's all they had. But the drinks are fire.
Mm.
Okay.
Drinks are fire.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're not gonna get fed, we might as well get you drunk so you had a good time.
Right. Say, well, their drinks are good.
So I am curious to see what he's going to say, and I'm shocked that he was in
that
Detroit.
was that
He's
the only
never come-
place? He's been
Um,
here before.
This is the first time I've seen him here.
I can't remember where he was, but I seen him on something at one restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And he was here.
Yeah.
You
So
follow him at all?
I've seen this stuff before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
restaurants you've been to lately? Night spots, hot spots?
I can't even think of the name of the place.
Like me, I said something nice. Huh?
Right, just random names. Yeah, it's a place downtown. I can't even think of the name of it because I know the Shelby's in the basement and they put a restaurant above it, and I tried that. It's a Japanese fusion restaurant. It's actually nice.
Does it have the
Oh.
flower wall?
Yeah, the flowers on the ceiling.
That's what I was telling you about. Yep, I can't remember the name either.
Yeah, it was actually nice. Food was good. They had
it
a.
don't help if y'all don't know the name.
I
of
know.
I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
a,
that's
it's a
where I wanna
Google
go
search
to.
away. I can find
Yeah.
it. Carry on. I'll have it short.
Yeah, but yeah, I was talking to Erica about that place last week. Now we'll know the name of it. Okay.
Oh, a couple of other things. In the Masonic world for my Masonic viewers, the Shriner annual charity ball is coming up. It is not next weekend. It is the weekend of June 23rd and 24th. So the tickets for the entire weekend, $100. If you've ever partied with the Shriners, you know that they get it in. So you will definitely get your money's worth. You got the Friday night party, which is the sundress and sneaker, and then you got the Saturday, you got the ball, then you got the cigar social afterwards. So it'll be a lot of food, a lot of libations, a lot of fun. So if you party with the Shriners, you know they get it in. So you can get your ticket on Eventbrite. You just look up the annual charity ball, Meraki Temple number 13, and you can get your ticket on there.
So what does that include again? I'm sorry. Was I listening?
No.
What is
The
going
$100. What does it include?
the Friday
Okay.
night party, the ball on Saturday, the Saturday night party,
Okay.
and they may have something. They sometimes have a day party.
Okay. On
So
Sunday.
on Saturday.
As well.
Mhm.
Okay. That sounds good.
And the name of that restaurant is Hannah. I couldn't think of it because you think
I
Asian.
sent you that, Tasha.
You sent me that one?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a look at that.
So I send you stuff and you ain't looked at it yet. That was 3
I
days
do,
ago.
I
You
do look
fired.
at it. You send it to me on Instagram?
No, I sent it to you on text.
Oh, my bad. I'm very bad.
You just want
with
to know
text.
exactly where she ignored it.
Exactly.
I'm very bad. I'm very bad. Have you all seen all of the new stuff that the Detroit Parks and Rec is doing this year? They've got like on their website tons of different events and stuff that are happening. Like they're doing jazz in the parks. and it's at a different park every Friday evening. The first one is June 30th at Rosedale Park Community House.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the yoga classes that are downtown at the Spirit of Detroit.
Okay.
Um, and they did the yoga classes last year, and when I looked at the videos, it would be a lot of people down there. So, just check check the website out because it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the city. Folks try to say, "Oh, it's nothing to do." There's plenty to do. They've got everything on here, and then it's a guide to food trucks too that are within the city, and the Juneteenth celebration is coming up as well, and that is on June 24th from 12 to 4, and it is going to be at the Spirit of Detroit area down there, at the foot of Jefferson and Woodward. So a lot
Okay.
of stuff they've got happening around the city. They've got Pride in Detroit June 10th. Was that yesterday? No, that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming up next weekend too. So a lot of stuff going on. So plenty for everybody to take part in.
Okay. All right. Sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, we have our guest host, Mr. Randall Piner. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, and what you do?
Well, I am an associate broker at Exit United Realty Professionals in Ferndale, Michigan. Lifelong Detroit resident. I am a single father. My daughter is 26 years old. Been licensed since 2016. Been a broker since last year. Also a coach of new agents and emerging agents. I've also teamed up with this an amazing group of people. The brokerage itself is the first exit franchise in the Metro Detroit area, and it is the first Black-owned franchise in Michigan and in the Midwest.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Yeah, so it is. It was started by two ladies, good friends of mine, Dawn and LaQuay. We had over the years crossed paths because everyone's in real estate. You see the same people. Myself and LaQuay were in the same brokerage probably 2 or 3 times. Just moving around. And when the opportunity presented itself, they started this franchise a couple years ago. And right now there's a little over 20 agents in the office and steady growing because we're just offering an entirely different experience, not just from a ethnic standpoint, but just how we approach this business.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So I know that you have been doing a lot of I'm sorry, home buying seminars with different banks and different organizations around the city. So tell us a little bit about that.
So for us, education is huge. Like there's so much people don't understand about making the purchase, and it actually scares people out of doing it. So we like to provide as much information as possible, and we team up with these banks because they're offering products that allow people that might not otherwise get the chance to purchase a way to get it done. So we're talking about different grants and other like down payment assistance programs and just a knowledge base of resources that can help people get across the finish line, all the way from the beginning to just, credit development, savings and all that, and take you all the way to where you actually get the keys to your home.
All right. So do you all have any programs that are coming up in the near future?
Yes, they are hosting with Independent Bank. I believe it is the 16th in Troy. Let me double check that because I don't want to give bad information.
Okay.
We have so many dates swirling around. I want to make sure it's correct.
Yep. And then you can send that to one of us too so that we can put it on our advertising on the website and the Detroit Key Cup Facebook and Instagram pages too.
So you got it wrong already. It's June 10th.
Mm. June 10th. That's next
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday. They do have it on Eventbrite's Homebuyer Workshop hosted by Exit Realty. It's at Independent Bank in Troy. We teamed up with them because they have several programs. I mean, there are so many different things. The what is the Heroes program, Community Heroes, which targets incentives for teachers, firefighters, police, first responders, like specialized programs with incentives for people in those fields. There are programs specifically for graduating doctors, nurses, and people in the medical field, um, even before they have a job, just on the fact that they've graduated with this degree.
Mhm.
And I mean, once you've gotten that degree, you're gonna work somewhere. Yes. So,
Yeah, I hope so.
and they leverage that without these people even starting a day of work, residency, or anything, be able to finance a property. So there are a lot of things in play that we just don't know about because that information isn't spread out
It's
just like
not.
that.
You know, we're teachers, educators, so
Mhm.
I have not heard of this program.
Mhm.
So interesting.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually an initiative in our office this year. We've teamed up with 3 banks to actually start partnering with schools to come in on like maybe PD days or staff meeting days and be able to just share the information and the resources because people just don't know. So we definitely want to be able to share that information and provide them the opportunity to purchase a home outside of the way everyone else does.
Yeah, that information is definitely needed. And yes, I'll put you on the calendar for our PD days because it's always, but it's always somebody, I'm looking for a realtor. I'm looking for, I want to buy a house and, things like that. So, want to make sure that, like you say, people have the right information. They're educated on that whole home buying process. Because I know when I bought my house, I was all over the place. The realtor was all over the place, showing me all these crazy. I'm like, that is not what I asked for. But even more so with that, just like you say, the grants and the other opportunities that are available for you that they don't always tell us about. So,
Yeah. So we're very big on the experience of your transaction, whatever side you're on.
Mhm.
So in addition to educating you during the process, so you know what you're doing, because a lot of people just sign stuff, they have no idea what they signed. They get to the end of the line, they just got the keys, they have no idea what happened. So making sure you understand that because you want to be able to share that, and it is not always an easy process. So actually being able to take you through that, because this is an emotional roller coaster, because you fall in love with a house and then you don't get it. And then you get into a transaction with a house you just love, and then you haven't inspected, and you find out that the foundation is cracked or something. You can't have that. So it's a lot of the open ups and downs, and it gets to be emotional sometimes, and people want to quit, and sometimes having the right agent can coach you through that and get you all the way to the end so that you can have that. It's no different than, I would think, childbirth. It's not always the most pleasurable experience, but a lot of people are excited
what a
when
hell
they
of a comparison.
when they finally get the baby, because it's a lot to go through
Hell yeah.
for this one little thing.
For that baby.
Just to be clear, I've never done it. I'm just using information that was given to me.
That's a heck of a comparison.
It's a context that I think a lot of people can relate to.
All right. Gotcha.
All right, so we are going to wrap up our this edition, and for those who are online watching us live, just stay tuned for the second half, and we'll be right back with you.
All right.
Okay, I guess we're back. No theme music. So I guess we're back.
We're just waiting on the cue.
Right.
All right. So today we have Randall Piner here with us, who is an associate broker for Exit United Realty in Ferndale, Michigan. So last time we were talking about how to become educated in the home buying process. And Exit United has teamed with a few banks in the area where they have home buying seminars and workshops to provide the home buyer with that added information that you need about grants and down payments, your credit, savings, and things of that nature. So, we are going to have Piner continue to provide us with some more information on how to get involved with this and some of the key things that you need to do prior to calling a realtor when you're ready to purchase your first home or sell your home and purchase a new home.
Because that experience is so important, I think a lot of people get a personal referral, which is a good place to start. But even with that, I say interview that agent and get an understanding of how they work and will they work well with you. Because I'll tell people immediately, I'm not for everybody and everybody ain't for me. But you want to have somebody that works with your style. Does your agent work full time? And do they have a job and then they do this also? What is their availability? What kind of volume are they doing? Are they more attentive, less attentive? Are you feeling more like a number, or does this feel like a personal business relationship where someone's very helpful? So it's just a matter of understanding how it works best for you.
Okay. All right. So what are some of the things that people should have in preparation to begin this process?
The most important thing to have for this process is a plan, which is why we do the workshop, so that you have an understanding of what you need and don't just get up one day and say, I want to buy a house, because you have to prepare for that. They're going to want a lot of information and you need to be able to provide that. So having the proper credit, an understanding of how much you need in savings, proof of income, because it's not always W-2, which is important.
Okay.
So for my, we were just talking about vendors and stuff like that, people with food trucks and other businesses. It doesn't exclude them. There are products that will go off bank statement or other sources of income, but you need to have some documentation or proof over a couple of years that you can provide steady income, because they are giving you a significant amount of money and they want to make sure they can get that back. So having those things in play, and then having an idea of really what you want and setting realistic expectations. Because I get a lot of folks that come in and they get their pre-approval amount and it's a lot of money on paper. But when you start shopping for homes, it's not as much as you think. So, I had a young lady tell me that she wanted to look at different houses because the houses we looked at weren't to die for.
Oh, okay.
And I said, baby, I know it seems like a lot of money, but this ain't to die for money. Your money gonna live. So we need to look at something else. So it's a lot. Just setting realistic expectations, and it's a difficult conversation to have. And a lot of agents won't have that conversation. I'm not afraid of a difficult conversation. At one point, it was actually my job to have difficult conversations.
Yes.
So
we know that, Piner.
Which job? But to approach it in such a fashion that it's not abrasive, but we have to set real expectations. Like, you won't be able to get, some of these homes, they're just out of your price range. So what you think you want, like, we have to reel that in, and also accept that this may not be your forever home, because if this is your first purchase, this might not be where you are forever. It is just where you're starting. So this is a leapfrog home. So buy the opportunity if you don't love the home.
Leapfrog home. Okay, I like that term.
Right, I never heard of that.
I just made it up.
Good stuff.
So leap from one leap to another. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we put so much on it because we think it's going to be like TV. I'm gonna go see a few houses. It's gonna be great. We're gonna pop champagne. I'm gonna go see 3 and I'm gonna pick one. It's gonna be amazing. And it's gonna be all new tile and granite countertops. And that might not be the case. And what's in your budget might have the layout of that dream home. But you may have to come back and, do some painting and upgrade over the years to get exactly what you want.
So the dream versus reality.
Oh, yeah. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, we talk so much about social media. In every context, it sets unrealistic expectations because people see it and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be like that. And it's like, well, You don't know what it took to get there. Yeah, they're standing in front of this giant home with all this new stuff, but what is that amount? What are they going to be paying monthly? What did they do to get ready for that? And did you do that? Do you have the income and resources for that kind of property? Or could you do something different and take this property and bring it up?
Okay.
So just having that real conversation and, like I said, setting realistic expectations about what's really possible within your budget.
I know when I purchased my house, I probably looked at 15 or 20 houses. And it started, like you said, people give up. It started to drive me crazy because I'm like, okay, they all look the same. So why you keep showing me all these extras? But depending on the neighborhood, depending on the area, the price was slightly different, slightly higher. And then I had to start thinking about, okay, what do I want? Because I went in, like you say, with one perception. But then as I started looking at houses, looking at what I could afford, and making sure that I was giving my whole dang on check as a mortgage payment,
Yeah.
you know, and I had to just kind of step back and rethink everything. But like I said, my realtor was horrible. Listening to damn radio and coming up with something like, oh, okay, he said he can. Yeah, I should have known you back in 2005.
Yeah, so
But
a lot
you was
of
probably a teacher then. You
I
know, you
was
got
still at
this
the
long
school.
list
Stop.
of shit. That
So
you
yeah, so
do.
we start with the dream, right? The
Mhm.
dream home, and then we whittle that down from
Mhm.
the wants to have till we get to the must haves, and that's what you end up buying.
Yeah.
So all that other stuff is just, yeah, I'd love a deck and a jacuzzi, and some people might want a pool.
Right.
Do you have jacuzzi and pool money? Like, is
Yeah.
that really a realistic thing in our budget? So maybe
Mhm.
not, but we can get you a nice home that has room for a deck.
Right.
So you might not have it now, but who's to say that if the market swings or you get a significant amount of money or a raise that you couldn't do that later?
Yep. Yep. You're right. You're right. So, uh, what, how do you, so like, I'm not trying to, be in your pocket or anything, but as a
Jump
realtor,
on in.
how do you make money to be able to, if you were a full-time realtor, if you did it part-time, what are some of the things that if people were looking to get into, being an entrepreneur and being a realtor, what would be some of the things that they could expect part-time, full-time, as far as selling and making money, the commission that's behind it?
Okay. So this is actually part of a class I teach.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
what's important about real estate is that you understand that it is truly entrepreneurship. So people go because the threshold is kind of low. You go to the class, it's 40 hours. If you can pass the state exam, you're now a licensed realtor. And most people do that. They go sign up for somebody's brokerage and expect money to just rain from the heavens. Somebody's going to show up the day they walk in, give them the keys to their Benz, throw on the blazer, and they are going to be on somebody's TV show selling the city. And that's not really how it goes. Unfortunately, we don't approach this like you would any other business. If you were going to open the store, you would have researched the real estate. You know the cost of the things you're going to sell. You just source those materials, done all those things, and set up that infrastructure before you started. In real estate, that very rarely happens, and it's why the failure rate is so high. For the people that get licensed, 50% are out in 2 years. 80% are out in 5. And of the 20% that's left, only about 20% of those are actually doing numbers. The rest of the folks are just getting by. So it's understanding that this really is entrepreneurship and you have to really work it. It is not a bunch of walking around nice homes and going to brunch. Like that's not because we don't have to go to work. Like
That's
your
what
time
it looks
is
like on TikTok.
is
Right.
not your time is not your time like that. The early part of your career, you are building systems so that in the later part of your career, you do have a little bit more time, but you have to actually get in there and do the work. It is literally a brand that you are building because there are over 100,000 licenses in the state of Michigan. Why would I let you handle my transaction? I don't know you. Why would I do that? Like you have to present
You
yourself
got
to
to
the
sell
public.
yourself.
Yeah. And not just, show up on TikTok or Instagram and all that stuff, but provide some value to these people who are looking for guidance.
Are you a full-time realtor
I
or
am
part-time?
full time.
Okay. You don't have to ask because I know
This
I know that Jamaican side of you. So
full time.
I was just wondering.
Full time. Funny. the when they started the brokerage, like I said, myself and LaQuay had talked about it, and she partnered with Dawn, and it's because I would say no to anything that wasn't what I was doing. So when I got into real estate, I kind of cut off because all those things, because I was doing a bunch of different things, and I was like, nope, I just want to be known for this and just this, so I can be really, really good at this and not just a Swiss Army knife of things. You know what I'm saying? I, sometimes you just need the right tool for that one job, and I wanted to be that. So yeah, I kind of cut all that stuff off. And I think at the time when they started, she probably was like, yeah, he probably just gonna say no. So I'm gonna just, because I was doing a lot at the brokerage I was at. I had, a training group, and we were doing coaching and stuff like that. And maybe she didn't think I would move for the opportunity. But, once things were up and running, we reconnected, and we're all together once again. So it's a good time.
Okay. So how often do you do these classes?
So I do them in the office, and like title companies and some other groups will schedule me out to talk to different agents. So there isn't like a regular schedule. So it's kind of as needed. Like when we get a batch of new agents, then I'll do the class. Or when we have people who just got licensed, I would do the class, because sometimes they just really don't understand the structure of real estate and all the things that you need and what to look for in a brokerage, and why some things you need to have yourself as opposed to being totally dependent on the entity above. Because as an agent, you have to work under a broker. And in the class, I talk about how the brokerage is a mall. They're gonna be there. The mall is there. They pay for the mall. You're a store in the mall. So who are you gonna get to come to your store? Like the mall doesn't make people come to your store. You have to create that draw.
Gotcha. You're right. Never looked at it like that. So, because like you say, the things we see, we see different realtor companies with commercials. And I mean, my assumption is if you work for them, you're getting a check every 2 weeks, and you're not, they're getting paid when you sell something, right?
Right. Whenever you perform a service. So we are a service industry. We don't actually sell a product. We don't have a product to sell. We don't necessarily always own the homes that we're showing, or own the homes that we're listing. So we're not selling the product itself. We're selling a service. So if I'm going to sell you a service, I'm going to make it the best experience possible. And that is what I built my business on.
What has been, thinking back over your career as a realtor, what has been your most memorable, sale, or, time where you really had to be like, I can't work with these people? You got any of,
You have any
that
horror stories?
Yeah, that horror story that you're like, oh, hell no.
I wouldn't say there were horror stories. There were transactions that were honestly a lot more difficult, just because of the person I had to work with. But I wouldn't say there were horror stories, because you know how I am. It's like, you're not going to get me all worked up or rattled, and I'm going to get my job done one way or another. I did have an agent who was over a team, and he was just giving out a lot of misinformation. Borderline stuff that I think he should have been criminally charged for.
Oh,
but
okay.
It must have been the man I bought my house
with. Yeah. And, fortunately, I was able to get my clients out of that transaction. And even though with the legal recourse available to the other party, they should have been able to take their money because of how I operate my business, we kept our money. And they moved on and bought another property, because we were looking at a property in, I think at Hazel Park at the time. It was a new build, and they bought a beautiful home in Lathrop Village, and they are just loving life right now.
That's good. That's good. So do you see yourself doing this for the next 10, 15 years or forever?
Ever.
So this is retirement.
Yeah. What's beautiful about the way this company is set up is it's designed for just that. So we have a commission structure where the corporate entity, there's a split in real estate. You got a portion that goes to the agent, a portion that goes to the company. And of that portion of the agents that I bring in, I get 10% of that for as long as they're working in our company. And then if I retire, it goes to 7%. So you think over a career, as I bring in more people, help them get started, and they're working, that starts to add up. And then if something were to happen to me, there's a beneficiary benefit of 5%. So this goes on, and it is for their lifetime, or if those agents stop working first. So whichever happens.
Oh wow.
So it provides that infrastructure just on the agent level, but also, building out with other agents and teams and looking at additional offices and things of that nature. So, training people and building a system so that I don't necessarily have to always sell real estate, but by helping newer agents sell real estate, still get some income because, get paid for what you know, not for what you show.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Sounds good. So, if anybody wanted to get started in the real estate business, what do you suggest that they do before really taking that leap?
Decide how they want to approach it. If you are working a full-time job, don't quit your job.
Don't
'Cause-
quit your day job.
Don't quit your job.
Tony
Yeah.
tells me
Important.
that every Sunday when we record. He tell me don't quit my day because I'll be on the mic trying to sing.
Yeah, this is a business. It requires money. You have to have some capital. And if you just don't have a lump sum of cash laying around, you're going to need money to get in this. So
Uh-huh.
you're going to need a transition plan. You need to learn this business, learn how it works, and see before you drop the safety net if this is something you can really do. Because real estate is not as easy as it looks. And you can quit your job and be out here struggling. So definitely having a plan. If it's someone that's listening, I would say get in contact with me and have a conversation before you even start. So we can, like I said, like everything I said today, set some realistic goals. Like, what are we really going to do? What are you really going to do? And are you really built for entrepreneurship? Because some people have the idea of entrepreneurship is I don't want to work for nobody. And that ain't what it is.
No,
Mhm.
it's definitely not
Right,
that.
because you're working for folk, your
Yeah.
customers, and then
Yeah.
you got a corporation that you're working
Under, yeah.
for.
And you
Yeah,
got it.
under, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
you can't just get into it and think it's just going to be easy money and that you don't have to have an investment in it. Any business entity that starts has to have some kind of capital to start. And then you have all kinds of fees and things to maintain your license and all the things that come with that. And then we haven't even gotten to branding and marketing,
Mhm.
Mm.
because how do I even know you?
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. The branding, the marketing, your like you say, fees and licensing,
Hmm.
and then continuing to educate yourself on new things, the new laws in real estate. So
Yeah.
how does that so if I'm a realtor and all laws changed, how was that information passed down to me?
So the state requires us to have continuing education. Over our 3-year license cycle, we have to have, I think it's 18 general ed courses.
Oh, just
And
like education.
Yep, and a
Okay.
mandatory 2 years legal every year. And I
Mm.
always go way past that because there's always so much information that you want to stay aware and relevant because something significant enough may change that will affect one of your clients or your transaction. And being unaware is a disservice to not only you, but your client because it could cost them in certain transactions thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Okay. So people getting into this, so we always joke about it. Of course, we met you when we all worked at the school together, and people talk about the flight of teachers and how teachers are leaving the profession. There was an article just the other day, something on CNN about the teacher shortages continuing. The gap is widening because so many people are walking away. So when you decided to walk away from education, was realty the first thing that you went into? Or you were already doing both?
No, so I took that time, which is why there's that list of things that I've done grew just a little bit, and I took things that I know that I could do to maintain my life because I've structured my life to be very low maintenance. I have no car notes, no house notes, everything is paid for, so I don't have a lot of overhead.
Mm-hmm.
So it allowed me to spend some time figuring out what I wanted to do. I had an ideal of real estate, but I wanted to do a little bit of research. So while I was doing that, I did the CDL driving. I drove tour buses, motor coaches. I, I just did a bunch of, I drove Uber. I just did stuff to keep money coming in while I figured out what I wanted to do. Because once again, like I just said, no matter what you're going to do, it's going to cost money.
Yep.
So let's just put money in there. And then once I kind of understood, what it took to get licensed and all that stuff, I jumped into that. When I started, I was still driving buses. So
Okay.
did not immediately quit that. And over time, learn the business because, there is a lot to learn. And that class does not prepare you for the reality of this work.
Yeah, just like education.
Just
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say,
education.
just like a degree. Yeah, you get a degree. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
yay, get out there in the world and it just
Like these
knocks you down.
kids, what?
yes. If you're in lower L, it's like the degree does not prepare you for the kid that's
The
gonna pee
degree
on you.
doesn't prepare you
Nah,
for any of it.
no, not
Lower,
at all.
upper,
Yeah,
middle, none of it.
Not at all.
yeah.
Not at all.
Some 6'5" eighth grader having a tantrum. It's just like what?
Right.
My degree does
Like
not
you in
cover
what
this.
grade?
Speaking of 6 foot, I saw one of our babies, one
Did-
of the crafts
Oh,
at the
did you,
school.
Elijah?
Elijah.
Mm. Yeah, that is a large family. Those are some giant folks. I remember them well.
Yes.
Can't miss them at all.
Yep. I talk to at least one of our Allen babies at least once a week. One of them say something to me on Facebook or call me. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, you were part of the Allen family.
Yes.
All right. So what's next for Randall Piner and Exit United Realty? What's on your agenda for the next week or two?
Just to continue the work we're doing, like I said, educating the agents, but also the people we work with. One of the things we get the most these days is everyone's talking about the interest rate, like the interest rate, the interest rate, the interest rate. The interest rates, right now hovering around, like for most people, around 6%.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't have much context because they never purchased a home to know that at some point we had double-digit interest rates. There are people that had 10, 12% interest on their mortgage. And we recently saw that 2 to 3%. So now it's like 6 seems high, and it's really not. And no matter
Mhm.
what the interest rate is, it's always going to be lower than what rent is because we know what rent prices are now. So that home
Mhm.
purchase, you might buy this home for 1,000, but you're gonna rent it for 1,800. Like, make it make sense. It's the same house.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And you get the people who's like, I don't want to be responsible for anything. Well, that costs you an extra $800 a month. So
Mhm.
that's a choice. I can't make that for you, but for me and my finances, that makes absolutely no sense. Like $800 a month, you can fix everything in here for $800 a month.
Mhm. Yeah. One of the other things that I didn't, I probably should have been a little bit more knowledgeable about when I purchased were property taxes.
Ah, yes.
So, what type of information do you give your clients when they are, preparing? Of course, I was just told, oh, your property taxes are blah, blah, blah a year. And that was
Mhm.
it. There was no more information, about the cycle of how often, the summer and the winter,
Yeah.
different things like that. I didn't have a dang on clue.
Yeah. So depending on what municipality you buy in, the taxes are different, and you need to understand what your tax rate is. So a lot of people look at properties on Zillow or whatever site they're using, and they show the taxes right now.
But they don't talk about how they're going to go up
And they
and
change,
they
right?
change
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah, because that tax base is based on what it's locked in from when they bought it. So if they bought that house in 1970, it's based on that. So now you have to look at the millage rates and all that stuff. And more accurately, you want to go to the city. It's like not something you're going to want your agent to figure out, or your lender may be able to provide some insight, but the city itself is going to know what that tax rate is going to look like. They're going to give that, before close. But if you're thinking of shopping in a certain area, you probably want to know what that rate is, and you can just take whatever my house value should be
Mhm.
times whatever this amount is, and that gives me what my taxes are going to be. And they are not static. As property values rise and fall, the tax base goes up and down, so it will change, and that escrow amount will change. So the lenders I work with, I know they do talk about the tax escrow with their clients, but not everyone does. So yeah, that tax thing can be a real surprise.
Oh yeah, it can.
Just runs up
Real
on you.
surprise. Like what? I gotta have how much by when? What? Lord have mercy. So yeah, and I, the big thing, some years back with the city and all of these people lost their homes, and then the taxes were being assessed improperly.
Mhm.
And I know they're constantly having conversation about that because all of these people whose homes were foreclosed on, that wasn't even the amount that they even should have paid, or the bill that was sent to them, it was incorrect anyhow. And
Mhm.
so now they're like, okay, all these people lost their homes due to that. What are you going to do to fix this?
Mhm. So we are
Nothing's been done so far.
yeah.
People were pushed out of their homes. I was one of those people who, I fought to keep mine and finally got everything on track with my taxes and everything. But I know friends and family members who just had to let theirs go because that tax base was so ridiculously high, and they're on a payment plan and paying it, but it was like it wasn't disappearing.
Yeah. So all of those proceedings are public information and we get them. And
Mm-hmm.
we reach out to people all the time. And the problem is that people that fear and embarrassment stop them from getting information to save their home. They would rather hold on to their pride and move and give up this house than to let somebody know that they're losing their home or that there's a bill that needs to be paid. And it's just, they just give it up and
Mhm.
don't even get the information to know that you could contest that amount. Like, I don't think that's right. I'm being improperly assessed, or what the process is. Instead, they just take what is given at face value and say, oh, well.
Yep.
And you've got a lot of money invested in this property. Like, you just going to give it up without a fight. And a lot of people do.
Yeah, they do.
And we send stuff out all the time. Like, when the things are put out, we set out, hey, we'll help you through it if you need to sell it to get from under because you don't have it. But don't just take a complete L. There are a lot of options when that happens, on the tax side and on the mortgage side. Like, people just kind of walk away from it. It's like, if you've been in this house, 15 years, you got a lot of money in it. And you're just
Mhm.
going to let it go.
Right.
Yeah, no, we prefer that not to happen because now you're going to leave this. You're going to have this foreclosure. It's going to prevent you from purchasing again. And now you're back into the rent cycle where you're paying even more when you could have just fought.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
All right. So just to reiterate, the home buyers class is next Saturday, right?
Yes.
At the Independent Bank in Troy. What's the time for it?
You got me working again. I should have gave it that the first time.
Just want to make sure everybody know the time. So this is the home buyer seminar.
Yeah, and this one is on Eventbrite. You have to find it because you need to register for it because this isn't one of the big ones.
Okay.
Where you just
this
got the
is
big
a smaller.
So this one is what I call the boardwalk, the boardroom buyer series. So it is in a corporate boardroom. It sits about 20 to 30 people.
Okay.
And it's, for me, I think it's better because it's a smaller group. You can really hear the presenters, get your questions answered. It's more like a one-on-one almost in a small group setting, as opposed to the big auditoriums or big rooms that we usually do. So it just provides a different option.
So when they search it on Eventbrite, what do they just put home buyer seminar, or you have to put keywords in Eventbrite to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, I have the
So,
link here. Let's see what it says when it pops up. Yeah, it's just
home buyer seminar.
Yeah,
Okay,
home buyer
so
workshop.
home buyers workshop. Yep, home buyers workshop. Just put that in the search, and it is next Saturday. It does not have a time on here. Well, when you guys get the ticket, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, you had to scroll down.
Yeah.
It's 10 to 12.
10 to 12. Okay, so 10 to 12. We're gonna put that information on our website.
Is that a brunch?
We wanna thank everyone for joining us today. Tony, we love you. We miss you. We're sad that you weren't here, but I think me and Tasha, we held it down. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all of our upcoming events. Check out our website. Don't forget on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on IG and Facebook.
All right, and Pioneer, if you could give your contact information real quick before we close
absolutely. You can find me on socials at Randall the General on any platform. If you'd like to reach out to me directly, my phone number is 248-795-4054.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today and providing us with a lot of good, valuable information for our audience. And
we will see you guys next week.
All right. Peace out.
Right.